Good evening and welcome to the Township of Chatham Committee meeting. Greg, has adequate notice been given?
Yes, adequate notice of this meeting of the Township Committee was given as required by the Open Public Meetings Act as follows. Notice was given to both the Chatham Courier and the Morris County Daily Record on January 6, 2017. Notice was posted in the main hallway of the Municipal Building on January 6, 2017. And notice was filed with the Township Clerk on January 6, 2017.
Thank you. Would you please stand for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yes, here. Mr. Kelly? Here.
Mr. Sullivan?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Schwartz?
Here.
Mayor Ritter?
Here. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. First item up the agenda this evening is something we've started last year. We've been talking about it for some time now, and every time we have the opportunity to do so, we do it, which is to recognize our volunteers. We've got a great full house here tonight of many volunteers. In a moment, I'm going to read a proclamation, then ask you all to come up and join us for a photo op, but then pass the microphone around and have you introduce yourself and tell us what you do for our community. So, as we've said in the past, volunteers are the backbone of Chatham Township, and we're very fortunate to have so many of you who spend time away from your family, friends, to do what you do, to make our town a wonderful place to live, to raise a family, and retire. So on behalf of myself and the committee here, I want to say thank you to all of you who came out here this evening. Those of you who are watching at home or watching this replay, we had a number of people who could not come out tonight because they had other prior engagements, volunteering somewhere else probably. But despite that, I say thank you. So I will read this proclamation and then we'll invite you up. Whereas Chatham Township is blessed to have hundreds of volunteers whom we are pleased to recognize for their hard work and dedication on behalf of our grateful community. And whereas these individuals volunteer thousands of hours each year, whether it's serving as a first responder, coaching youth sports, raising funds and awareness for our athletic programs and schools, or supporting our seniors, the environment, or serving our local government on a committee or board. Whereas Chatham Township is committed to encouraging community involvement among its many residents and encourages everyone to consider giving back to their community and volunteer as we strive to do our part to build a better Chatham. And whereas Chatham Township recognizes that volunteering improves one's quality of life, as well as the lives they serve and support, and is one of the many reasons why Chatham Township is such a great place to live, raise a family, and retire. And whereas we are eternally grateful to the men, women, and youth who take the time away from family and friends and offer their talents and skills to make a difference in the lives of others in our community. Now therefore I, Kurt Ritter, Mayor of the Township of Chatham, hereby proclaim April as Volunteer Appreciation Month in the Township of Chatham and urge my fellow citizens to take the time to thank our volunteers and to recognize them for their dedication and commitment on behalf of Chatham Township, and if they are not already a volunteer themselves, to consider it, as it is our volunteers who serve as the backbone of our community. So again, thank you everyone for your volunteerism. Thank you for all that you do for our community. And at this time, I encourage you to, if anyone here in the committee wants to say anything on behalf of our volunteers, present and at home.
I would just like to say we couldn't do it without you. And when you look around at the important roles that you people play in our community, from our reading skills as a young age, to our scouts, to our firefighters and first responders, our emergency squad, honest to goodness, there's no greater community and there's no way we could do it without you. So I, from the bottom of my heart, thank you too. Thank you very much. Guys, great job.
Thank you. As I said, can't say it enough, but thank you for all you do. It's greatly appreciated.
I'll add thanks as well. Anything else would be redundant, so thank you.
Oh, five's a charm, so.
So with that, if you please join us up here. We have some of these to pass out. Hello? Okay. Thank you. Doing? Hey, seen you. How you doing? Thank you. How you doing? Ah, yes, yes. Yep. Yes, indeed. Yes. How you doing?
I'm Marilyn Michalski.
Okay, yes.
Coordinator of the coalition.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
I'll try to do this real quick.
All right, Frank. You up and about instead of Carol lives around the corner from me. And so Carol's all of a sudden the rest of today, I think that's great.
All right, I think we've got everyone gathered here. So not to prolong this any longer, but it's not really the people who don't want to hear from us. They want to hear from you. So I'm just going to pass this microphone around. If you guys introduce yourself, tell us what you do, where you volunteer, and whatnot. That'd be great. So we'll start over here.
Lieutenant Corey Platt, Chatham Township Fire Department.
Bob Evans, Chatham Township Fire Department.
Adam Moore, Chatham Township Fire Department.
Kyle Dobashevsky, Chatham Township Fire Department.
Jake Omgren, Chatham Township Fire Department.
Jimmy Ratz, Chatham Township Fire Department.
Paul Carlson, Chatham Township Volunteer Fire Department.
Mike Loglich, the Deputy Chief of the Chatham Township Volunteer Fire Department.
Rich Crater, President, Chatham Emergency Squad.
Evan Skinner, Chatham Emergency Squad.
Tom Patterson, Chatham Emergency Squad.
Joe Korkich, Captain, Chatham Emergency Squad.
Brian McGookin, Equipment Lieutenant and Tuesday Night Crew Chief, Chatham Emergency Squad.
Glenn Nelson, Planning Board.
Peggy Nelson, Library of the Chathams.
B. McCara, Chatham Senior Center.
Taz Brower, the Madison Chatham Coalition.
28 years ago, Bill Spraitzer asked me to join the zoning board. And in the interim, I've served on every committee but two, including the honor of being mayor of the town. And it's been a pleasure to carry on the tradition of the Noe family in the service of this community. And I would say it's been a two-way street because it's been such an honor to be a part of this community and to work with the fine people I've worked with. Bailey Brower, Driftway.
Marilyn Michalski, Coordinator of the Madison Chatham Coalition, helping youth make healthy choices.
Barb Montague, Senior Center of the Chathams and Trustee for the Library of the Chathams.
Ruth Mira, Board Member of the Senior Center of the Chathams.
Kelly Loofborough, the Coordinator of Municipal Alliance Committee of the Chathams.
Jean Earl, Municipal Alliance.
Kara Fieser, Chatham Township Environmental Commission.
Dot Stillinger, Chatham Township Environmental Commission.
Frank Esposito, Chatham Township Environmental Commission.
Jim Connolly, Trustee, Chatham Township Fire Department, and Trustee of the Senior Center of the Chathams.
Kevin Doherty, ex-Chief, Green Village Fire Department.
Andrew Jansen, Green Village Volunteer Fire Department.
Mike Zales, Deputy Chief, Green Village Fire Department.
Matt Bear, Chief, Green Village Fire Department. Mike Rawson, Lieutenant, Green Village Fire Department.
Robert Jansen, ex-chief and present trustee of Green Village Fire Department.
Alfredo Hand, Green Village Fire Department.
Sergio Villalobos, Battalion Chief, Green Village Fire Department.
I'd like at this time to recognize 5 volunteers that are sitting on this dais right now. Being a former mayor and former member of the Township Committee, maybe they should introduce themselves.
Idea.
Kurt Ritter.
Kevin Sullivan.
John Mauer.
Karen Swartz.
Mike Kelly.
So with that, we'll take a picture, but again, thank you everyone for being here tonight. More importantly, thank you for all that you do on behalf of our community today and every day, and hopefully, you know, the publicity that they'll get from this, people at home will look at this and say, I want to be up here, I want to give back to my community, I want to be inspired by these individuals, and that's what you guys are, an inspiration. So thank you again for all that you do. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thanks again. Thank you. Some extra ones for you.
I'm with the Chatham Courier and I'm with
I'll see you Saturday. Yes, we'll see the video. It'll be great. I'm sure there's still a lot on the cutting room floor too. Amazing.
All right, we'll continue along with our meeting here. Before we go to reports, I just want to, I see we have 3 scouts in the audience. Put you guys on the spot. You want to come up and introduce yourself and tell us what you're going for? John, you want to pass him the mic?
I'm Jackson Corey. I'm a Star Scout. I'm working on citizenship of the community.
I'm Matthew Doherty. I'm a Life Scout working on citizenship in the community.
I'm Sam Ellis, also a Star Scout and also working on citizenship in the community. Troop 121.
Thank you, guys. All right, we'll move on to reports. John, you want to kick us off?
No reports.
Okay, Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. I can announce 2 upcoming work days here that are coming up. One for the Open Space and the Environmental Commission, a kind of a joint project to wood chip the trails on the Hillside Avenue Open Space tract. This will be on Saturday, April 22nd, which is Earth Day, from 9 till 1. Anyone who would like to participate is more than welcome. Come on down. Bring a wheelbarrow or a rake or a shovel and your energy and come down, not for the whole time, but just any part of it is fine. The DPW is going to be providing a supply of wheelbarrows and tools. And with the Environmental Commission, we're providing some refreshments as well. So it looks like a good day, and we're looking for a good event there. And coincidentally, the community garden on the same weekend, April 22nd and Sunday, April 23rd, will be doing their work day to spiff up the community portions of the community garden. This will involve wood chipping some of the paths and also kind of clearing some of the perimeter around the fence and making some fence repairs. So again, everybody, in that case, it's particularly for people who have plots at the garden. Please mark that on your calendar for Saturday and Sunday, April 22nd, 23rd, again from 9 to 1. And a separate item on the agenda for the community garden is that we're moving forward on plans to repave the driveway. That's had originally been paved when it was a private home. It's fallen into great disrepair. John checked it out, Rich from the DPW checked it out, and have come up with a plan that they feel that paving it is a better solution than crushed stone, that will hold up better and also won't create a problem with the water runoff onto the street, that we can crest give it a crest on it, that the water will go into the wooded area alongside and not whereas the gravel might become a problem down on the road. So when the details of that project get worked out later this spring, that's going to be handled by the DPW. And they're talking to the borough DPW to make it potentially a joint project as well.
Great.
And that's it.
How are we doing with the community garden applications or spots availability? Or
it's fully subscribed. There is I think one person is on the waiting list. So, and there are a couple of people who have not sent in their money yet. So if you are one of those who you're on the list but haven't sent in the money, please do so, because there are some people, at least one, who signed up and is anxious to have a garden plot. So that would be something that they would certainly appreciate. And yeah, it looks like it's shaping up. We're asking gardeners not to go in yet because the ground is so wet that you don't want to churn it up and compact the soil. But I think next week's forecast is for nice weather, and I'm sure that people will be starting to get in there and get things planted. They're already late for their peas and their lettuces, and but it's getting close.
Great. Thanks, Mike. Kevin?
No reports tonight.
Karen?
Yep, we have a couple of things. Of course, our tireless friends at the Chatham Township DPW have been out getting ready for pool weather, even though it doesn't seem like much pool weather is in store for us today, but we are inside the 2-month mark for the opening of Colony. They have been installing new water heaters, bringing the grills up, making sure that the area is generally ready for our membership, so we're thrilled about that. They've continued to install outdoor lighting here in our complex, both in the lower lot and up here. That's a great boon to the safety of our municipal complex. Among the most important things of our DPW season for homeowners is there are mulch deliveries. So tomorrow, our DPW will begin the order taking process, and you can start forming the line tonight if you want to. It's always a popular event. Our fearless Christy Tragno will be down taking orders for mulch, so bring your checkbook. Deliveries will be taking place on Fridays in April going forward, not exactly every Friday, but going forward they will be on Fridays. Additionally, our compost area down at the Tanglewood facility is open. If you're not going to be there to receive any mulch or you don't want it in your driveway, you can go collect it yourself. The compost hours are Tuesdays 8:30 to 11:30 and Saturdays 8 to 3. So feel free to go down and collect your own mulch, and those are our friends at DPW. One age-old tradition when a new a major piece of fire equipment comes into the community is what they call a wet down, and our Green Village Fire Department wants everyone to know that Family Day, Saturday, May 6th from 2 to 4 is open to all of our families and friends in the township and surrounding communities. Kids are welcome. They're going to have a bounce house and all kinds of other fun things as we celebrate the addition of a new fire truck that was delivered to our Green Village Fire Department last year. So that's Saturday, May 6th. Mark your calendars, 2 to 4. It's going to be an exciting event. And our senior center would like to remind you that we have our shred event on April 22nd, Saturday. It will be at the Borough train station, Saturday, April 22nd, for our senior shred event. And that's my report, Your
Great.
Honor.
I just have one item, which is on Wednesday, April 26th, we're going to be hosting a Talk Save Lives suicide prevention talk in the library at 7 p.m. This is something similar we did last year here in the municipal building. It's a joint event with the Borough of Chatham, so I encourage anyone who has an interest in learning more about this important matter to attend the event. We'll be publicizing it on our Facebook page, but we're doing this in conjunction with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. John?
Oh, thank you, Mayor. The only active capital project right now is still Connolly Pool. They are getting close to completing the project. They probably have at least another week, one more day of pouring concrete, then they'll set the slides, set the diving boards, and do the restoration on the sides. Really no complications or issues, just hopefully the weather holds out and they can complete that. And then looking at, we are going to amend their contract to paint the wall, and that will probably happen more mid-month, later in the month, when the temperature just is more ideal. So that's all.
Great, thank you. Chief? I'm sorry.
Can I just intrude? I forgot to report on the progress of the New Jersey American Water
Oh, yes,
new
please.
pipeline, which of course only impacts every one of us who takes Lafayette Avenue every day. Schools will be out next week, so they really intend to bang out an awful lot of work next week. They've been dealing with, of course, hand in glove with our police department and our superintendent of schools, as well as the whole school district. Their next steps are as follows. The dozen or so houses that are serviced between Lenape and Longwood across from the schools, as well as the school services, will be installed during vacation week while school is off. They're coordinating with the school's maintenance staff for services within the school while there are activities there, even though it's closed for spring break. Their estimation, based on the current productivity, they anticipate completing services by April 21st. Once services are completed, they can start with the side street tie-ins, and that project will be completed, anticipated by the first week of May, May 5th. So I would like to commend them. I know we have had glitches along the way. I've heard from a number of neighbors that there have been some real unavoidable issues, and the folks at New Jersey American Water have been extremely proactive, extremely communicative, and we're grateful to them for really keeping the door open 24/7 for us to make sure that our residents are satisfied with the work that they're doing.
Great.
So thank you, and forgive the interruption. Sorry.
Thank you, Karen. Chief, anything? Good. Tom?
Yes, Mayor, a couple things. First, the annual audit has been completed by our auditors. Prior to the meeting this evening, the mayor and Mike Kelly, who make up the Finance Committee, met with our auditors and myself and Debbie King, the CFO, to go over the results of the audit. The full audit will be made available to all of you this coming week and will be posted on our website. Valerie Dolan from the auditing firm Nisavachi will be here at the meeting of April 20th to do a public presentation and overview of the audit. Everybody is certainly welcome to review that document. If you have any questions between now and the 20th, feel free to reach out to me or to Debbie or to send us an email or whatever. Otherwise, any questions you might have for Valerie, she'll be here on the 20th. Colony Pool registration is open. I probably will report on that at every meeting, but it is open. We did have a glitch with the credit card system this week. There were some people that had difficulty getting their registrations to go through. We were able to track down what that problem was. That's been fixed, so if there's anyone out there who tried to register this week and was unsuccessful, you can go back online and the registration will go through now. Swim team registrations are also already available. Can be done through Community Pass. That it was I guess we started doing that last year to have the swim team registrations done through Community Pass, and that is open. the instructional tennis clinic that we run during the month of July at Colony, although it's not affiliated with the Colony Pool, that registration will open on Monday. And I want to alert people that may be interested in that. It's for children 6 to 12, and it's limited to the first 48. We can't, because of number of courts available and staff available to run that clinic, we have to limit it to 48 children. And spring sports have started, so DPW's back to their normal busy spring routine of trying to maintain and prepare the fields for all the play that goes on. Spring is the busiest season. The wet weather doesn't help, but we are underway, and I think teams are actively out there playing. I know I see the lights on at Shunpike every night now, and at Nash, so things are moving along. And that's about it.
Great. Thank you, Tom. We'll now open it up for a hearing of citizens. This is an opportunity for any member of the public to be heard about issues which are not topics scheduled for public hearing tonight. To facilitate an orderly meeting and to permit all to be heard, we are asking speakers to please limit their comments to 3 minutes.
Yes, hi, good evening. I'm Dot Stillinger, Chair of the Chatham Township Environmental Commission. We have a wonderful problem here on our hands. We have been so lucky. We have been able to recruit some young and vigorous members who know all kinds of things about all kinds of things. And one of the, I don't want to reveal my age, but they know about things like Twitter and but as a result of having these young people on the commission, we have been able to produce some wonderful new programs. We had a water quality event here at the Township building a few weeks ago where we had some very qualified speakers come and talk about water quality in New Jersey, how water quality standards are set. The state geologist, the New Jersey state geologist came and spoke, and we had some other prominent people. That was organized by one of our younger members who is very passionate about water quality, as we all are. And then we have another young, energetic commissioner who is very concerned about pesticides. Ideally, nobody would use any pesticides anywhere. Of course, this is probably not realistic, but certainly we can urge people to use organic fertilizers and hopefully organic pesticides and lawn control things. So we're embarking on a pesticide reduction program thanks to Kara, who will be speaking next. But along with this new exciting venture into the world of Twitter and Facebook and things like this, we inadvertently created what I think is a wonderful Facebook page, but the township has a procedure for posting things on its website, which is the way it should be. We just didn't know about it. So we humbly apologize. We hope that the material on the Facebook page is acceptable to people and that we can work out an arrangement somehow to proceed with it or not, whatever you want to do. But in any event, I think it was exciting that one of our members was dragging our stodgy old environmental commission kicking and screaming into the 20th century. We'll get to the 21st sooner or later. The 20th is already a big step forward for us. So let me introduce Kara Fieser, one of our newest members, and she'll tell you just a little bit about her pesticide program and what she would eventually hope to find its way, one way or another, onto the township website or Facebook page or whatever it is you folks have. Thanks.
Hey, Dot, thank you so much. And I know that you're as excited as the rest of us about the zeal of the younger members, and when they see an issue that they feel needs to be addressed, they come forward and you immediately get them to join the Environmental Commission, so be careful about the issues you bring up. You'll be given a job. But certainly the zeal that our newer members have for getting the word out is remarkable and great. And thanks, Kara.
Hi, Kara Fieser, as Dot said, Falmouth Road. So on behalf of the Chatham Township Environmental Commission, I created what we thought was a wonderful and exciting website with the intent really to inform the community a little bit more about what the Environmental Commission does as volunteers, to provide some updates into some of the activities that we hold, like the upcoming Open Space Workday, as that had mentioned, some of our speaker series that we've just have launched with water quality. Also just to some of the wonderful beauty that we could all take advantage here in the township, like the Green Pond Conservation Area. We have some wonderful pictures of that. I would put wonderful pictures of that on the Facebook page to try and encourage people to take advantage of these things. Some of the other content would include just general environmental information and resources on recycling. Still get questions about that. Water quality, what we can do as a community to be active and monitor our water, as well as what Dot had mentioned. I'm working on a pesticide reduction campaign to try and launch to residents to be aware, and there's a lot of nice content on there in terms of why not to use pesticides, as well as steps that you can take to manage your lawn more in organic fashion. So for the time being, the Facebook page is offline until we discuss the proper channels and process to maintain the web page and the content on it as well. Thank you.
That's great, Kara, really it is. Thanks for your work.
Thank you.
What we need to do is we need to kind of figure out how we marry your page with ours, because it would be considered that the information that you post there would fall under the Open Public Records Act and be discoverable by people making requests. And Greg LeConte, as the municipal clerk, is the person who's responsible as the custodian of records. So we are going to have to get together and figure out how to properly set up something like that.
And the Communications Committee does have a set of protocols for creation of township social media pages. So we'll work on that.
Yeah, there's things you can do certainly as an individual, as a citizen, but if it's the Chatham Township Environmental Commission Facebook page, then it has an official status and it needs to follow the right protocols.
Yeah, completely, I understand and it makes sense. All right.
But thank you for taking the effort and making the effort to do all that work. That's the hard part. Thank you.
Good evening. Jane Devlin, Hickory Place, Chatham Township. I am seeking a response if any more consideration is being given to formalizing a voted for welcoming resolution. We heard Mayor Ritter's response when he described at length his thinking at the last meeting why he went ahead with the proclamation. I respect that. He also digressed about a number of other of his accomplishments and the time he spends away from his family because of mayoral functions. For those not in attendance at the meeting's videos, as we all know, are online, not only at the township website, but this time Chatham Tap carried the mayor's remarks in full, unabridged. But those remarks, however helpful and however genuine, still didn't address the underlying concerns from citizens that there is no resolution, and also sometimes decisions are made, whether it be on this topic, SBS camp, and possibly many more issues, without prior input from the community, and before matters are presented in a layperson's way, so that interested citizens can vet what's going on. Certainly there is a lot of info on the website, but who, for example, is going to read a 100-page document on affordable housing? It's hard to keep track of all this committee is doing, and that shouldn't be mean to interpret that they're doing anything wrong, but it is hard to keep track of everything the committee is doing until something we learn is a done deal or a fait accompli. I also ask if there's any plans perhaps to modify the current Pride in Chatham proclamation to include less about money, taxes, and bragging rights, but more about meaningful attributes. The current proclamation, in a general way, does talk about volunteers, first responders, and the dedication of the school district, but none or few of these whereases zero in on what is unique to our community. Just by way of a few examples, we don't have a whereas that speaks to the school's farm to cafeteria program and how we have crops at school. We don't have a whereas talking about specific volunteers like committee folks who are Kiwanis members. We don't have a whereas about the stigma-free or suicide walk. There is no specific mention of the rescue squad or the volunteer fire department whose impressive statistics were noted at the last meeting during their annual reports. There is no whereas about the community garden or even our preceding speaker's environmental commission. Perhaps whereases could have addressed some of the exceptional things our faith-based communities are doing. The many volunteers in their groups this current proclamation alluded to probably all do something unique. Had feedback from them been solicited prior to drafting the proclamation, we may have been able to include some of those particular accomplishments not readily known. I would like to take a page from Madison's Mayor Conley, who responded to concerns from residents about a welcoming resolution by inviting people to a special meeting of a welcoming community task force comprised of local folks, not just elected officials. They are having breakout groups, discussions, where to go next steps. This was noted in the Madison Eagle newspaper on March 28th. Mayor Ritter's intentions may have been good ones, probably were good ones, but he seemingly acted in a unilateral fashion, depriving even the committee members of a vote. I'm not certain if they even had the chance to give input to the wording of the current Pride proclamation. I don't think the community wants a patriarchal swoop in to save the day government, but rather a citizen-centric government. Our elected officials are there to represent us and be our voice, not replace us. I want to conclude by thank you for honoring the volunteers earlier this evening. I would also like to please inquire how one gets showcased on the website's volunteer spotlight for April. April is Volunteer Month, but it is also Alcohol Awareness Month. And perhaps we could put Municipal Alliance, MAC's committee's volunteer efforts and its mission to promote a thriving Chatham by having Chatham residents embrace prevention as an essential tool against substance abuse. And we could showcase some of MAC's initiatives during the month of April on the volunteer highlight page. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your opportunity that you gave me to speak tonight.
Thank you, Jane. As it relates to MAC, in fact, they do appear on the volunteer page on the website, and as we indicated on the Facebook page, we are periodically throughout the month highlighting the various organizations, and they will be highlighted as well.
Bailey Brower, Driftway. It's nice to know the political season has started. This is directed at Mike Kelly. 3 years ago, Mike, when you ran for Township Committee, and we certainly appreciate the service you've rendered to the town, it was very contentious over the fact the way the budget was created and who created it and how it was created. Now that you've had the opportunity to sit on this board and be a part of that financial planning, do you find anything that is out of order, mistaken, or in any way misleading in the way the budget was presented or the way you conducted yourself on the committee or your committee members with you?
No, it's looking good.
That's good to hear, and I appreciate that. The other thing, I'd like to thank the committee, one and all, for holding the line on the taxes. Your record is incomparable amongst the other towns in this state. I don't think people realize that. I think it goes 7 years now, not 6 years, of no increase in the municipal part of the budget. Am I right on that, Greg? At least 6 years.
Well, let me help you with that, Bailey. Since 2007, so over the course of the past 10 years, there were some years where we had small increases, other years where we had small decreases. The net result is that the rate in 2017 is the same as it was in 2007. So if you want to talk about 10
I think
years,
rate is what I was speaking to.
The local rate is the same as it was in 2007.
It in no way takes away the wonderful job you've all done, and we appreciate your efforts too, Tom.
Thank you.
Does anyone else would like to come forward? Seeing no one else come forward, we'll close the public hearing. Moving on to another public hearing, the final adoption of our 2017 municipal budget. It's Resolution 2017-082, adopting the 2017 municipal budget. We'll open up for a hearing of citizens. Any discussion among the committee? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Mauer?
Yes.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Schwartz?
Yes.
Mayor Ritter?
Yes. Now we have two introduction of two ordinances. The first one is ordinance 2017-07. It's a bond ordinance. One item to note on page 2 of the ordinance, where it mentions in-vehicle video equipment. This is actually in-vehicle computer equipment for the police department. Is there any discussion on this ordinance?
If you reference the capital budget page within the budget that you just adopted, you'll find these are the projects. There's one not listed here. That was the possible acquisition of open space. That'll be a separate ordinance that'll come later if we reach a point where we actually enter into a contract for purchase. So this is all the general improvements, purchase of DPW equipment, replacing the laptop computers in the police cars, and the major portion of this is the $1,250,000 for road improvements after the decision to accelerate the road improvement program and to compress 2 years into one to take advantage of good prices on pavement and also low interest rates.
Anyone have anything, comments? Motion to approve the ordinance for introduction. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Mauer?
Yes.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Schwartz?
Yes.
Mayor Ritter?
Yes.
And public hearing will be scheduled for May 11th.
The next item, or next ordinance up, is 2017-08, vacation of Paper Street. Anybody have any discussion item on this? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Mauer?
Yes.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Schwartz?
Yes.
Mayor Ritter?
Yes.
And public hearing on this one will be April 20th.
Great. Next item up is the consent agenda. Greg, could you please read those off?
This evening's resolutions are Resolution 2017-083, payment of bills, 2017-084, approving meeting minutes, 2017-085, approving executive session minutes, 2017-086, refunding tax lien, and 2017-087, releasing escrow balances.
Any comments, questions? Is there a motion to
If I
approve?
may, Mayor, I would just like to point out for clarity, to 2017-086, the redemption of the tax lien, you'll notice in that resolution that the interest was calculated to April 12th on that, and today is only April 6th. Although we are asking for your approval, that check redeeming that tax lien will not actually be released until the end of next week.
Great. Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Mr. Mauer?
Yes.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Schwartz?
Yes.
Mayor Ritter?
Yes. We'll now open it up for another hearing of citizens. If anyone would like to come forward. Seeing no one come forward. Oh,
Could you just explain a little bit about the affordable housing? I know you're having a closed executive session, but maybe just give a little information, what's going on so far, and if there is going to be opportunity for public hearings, kind of where you're at with it?
sure.
Thank you.
Tom, you want to?
There's really not a whole lot that we can say because it's still tied up in litigation. So we are moving forward in negotiations with the Fair Share Housing Center in an attempt to come to a resolution of the issue. There's the next judicial action, I believe, is in May. There's another case conference with the judge. And that's really all there is to report at this time.
Well, thank you. So there's nothing really coming down the pike anytime soon?
It's a relative term.
Within the next 6 months?
We certainly hope to have this matter resolved much sooner than that.
And then it would be on the Township Committee docket to update the community?
Certainly.
Okay. Thank you for the help.
Thank you.
Mayor, for me.
Yes.
Jane, we definitely share your desire to discuss this in public. I mean, the fact that it's being discussed in courts as a legal matter, it does fall under the open public meetings requirements of what can be done and what really has to be done in private. To negotiate in public and to litigate in public is simply just can't do it. But once that is taken care of, we will definitely be holding public discussions on this very important matter.
Okay, and absolutely my question that I was asking where we were at was just so I could understand better where we were at and in no way suggest that the committee is not doing anything transparent. Again, sometimes if you're a community member and a general lay citizen, it's hard to understand the different layers of how a process or a government works, even on a local level. So the questions are just to understand and educate better. It's not to be inferred that the wheels are going slowly or going in the wrong direction. So I appreciate all the feedback I've gotten on these questions tonight. It just kind of helps to know where we're at with it. Thanks again.
Thank you. Anyone else like to come forward? Seeing no one else coming forward, we'll close up this hearing of citizens. I'm told executive session, Albert's not here, so we do not have an update actually on affordable, or do we? Are you going to?
I just gave it.
Yeah.
I can tell you what I know at this point in executive session if you want, but it's, there isn't much that's happened in the last 2 weeks.
We probably should.
All right. All right, we'll break for executive session then. So at this point, we'll, Greg, can you please read that?
Resolution 2017-P-05, resolution of the Township Committee of the Township of Chatham in the County of Morris, New Jersey, authorizing conference of the Township Committee with the public excluded, whereas NJSA 10:4-12 of the Open Public Meetings Act permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances, and whereas the Township Committee of the Township of Chatham is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Township Committee of the Township of Chatham, County of Morris, State of New Jersey as follows. The public shall be excluded from discussion of the specified subject matter. The general nature of the subject matter to be discussed is as follows. Litigation in the matter of the Township of Chatham for a judgment of compliance of its third round housing element and fair share plan, docket number MRS-L-1659-15, and property acquisition, open space. It is anticipated that the minutes on the subject matter of the executive session will be made public upon conclusion of the matter under discussion, and in any event, when appropriate pursuant to NJSA 10:4-7 and 4-13, the committee will come back into regular session and may take further action. This resolution shall take effect immediately.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Mr. Mauer? Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Schwartz?
Yes.
Mayor Ritter?
Yes.
We do have two matters. We'll do the first one on open space so that Mr. Mauer can then leave.